But men that are more well off, that are doing better, they generally, to me, in my opinion, are better people. They're more happier. They're more adjusted.
They have more
They
freedom.
have more freedom.
I'm just saying.
If you've ever been with a destitute, broke, you will know that they are
I've never
generally
done
the
that.
worst
Yeah, I've never done that.
type
I've never
of
done that.
individuals.
Why do you keep on going so far up the spectrum? You go from 100 to 0. You can't compare the two.
Yeah.
Because when
No,
you
no,
start
no,
getting
no,
into
no,
37s
no.
and 57s, it's
No.
a lot of variables.
Yo, but
I'm calling cap on that one, y'all. For a couple of different reasons. To the more informed person, two things come out with what she said. And it's an either-or situation. Either you've never been personally involved with someone who had money on any relationship level, or you ignore, even if you have been involved with them, you ignore what their personality really is in favor of what they have. And see, at the end of the day, a lot of times that's why it's that attitude that keeps women in abusive relationships, because there's certain parts and certain aspects of relationships that they look past anything. They compromise themselves on anything because they are able to look past those things in favor of the other things that that person brings to the table. All right? Now, it's one of the two, because anybody who has had any type of relationship with someone who is well off, and it kind of depends on what you consider to be well off, all right? Anybody who has had any relationship with someone, whether it's a friendship, romance, any type of romantic relationship, even if you're kin to them or whatever the case may be, they know that that person tends to be an asshole and treat you, and for the most part, they treat people like they are replaceable. Everybody knows that. No different than when women get into that boss babe mode where they have just enough that they can tell a man, I don't need you, I got this, I don't need you. That same mentality, the same shit, all right? Now, the reason that I call cap is for a couple of reasons, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at America, who would you say is the freest people in America? And I'm gonna say you're wrong, because most of y'all are gonna say the rich. Nope, the rich deal with everything that you have to do everything you deal with on a larger scale. The rich and the wealthy, they deal with everything you deal with on a larger scale, right? The freest people in America are the homeless, because everything that you have to do within your life is stressful. People that you are around you, you question whether they're around you just because they like you, or whether they're around you because of ways that they can benefit from you. The homeless don't have those problems. The homeless don't have the stresses of paying light bills and they basically they don't have the stresses of people being around them because they don't like them. Generally, if a person is around a homeless person, it's because they want to be around the person. More than likely, it's because they're just like them. All right? So you don't have those stresses of wondering if people are being authentic to you or whatever the case may be. Right? And then they don't have just the general stresses of life. The only thing that they have to worry about is basically how they're going to eat and how they're going to survive, where they might sleep or whatever the case may be. But a lot of them just sleep wherever they are when they get sleepy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course you would go from one end of the spectrum from the rich man and saying, see, of course they're nice in passing if you haven't never been involved with them on any relationship level, if you're not tied to them somehow. Of course the well-off man is the nicest person. Hey, how you doing? They'll sit there and have a conversation with you or whatever. And then when they walking away, they be like, yo, I'm glad I'm done with that motherfucker. I'm glad I ain't got to talk to that motherfucker again. Of course they nice in passing. And maybe she has met some dudes who were well off in passing, all right? Who were well off in passing and they were nice to her. They're free. They got freedom. See, all the things that she listed is the reason that they are assholes. Because you are replaceable. Any woman that comes into his life, they're coveted by women. This is why you have so many conversations about them. You and every woman that you know covet that man who is well off. So it's nothing for him to lose you. You're going to go all the way to the opposite side of the spectrum to a person who is broke, destitute, which is basically the 16% of men who father 70% of kids, of black children. You go to the person who's struggling and you say, oh, well, he's hangry. Yeah, he got the stresses of life. He got bills to pay that he don't know if he going to be able to pay or whatever the case may be. But real shit, y'all. You know why y'all don't talk about the middle class dude? 51% of black males are single with no kids and middle class. That means they make anywhere from 50 grand or anywhere from 35 or 40 grand to 200 grand. And do you know why those are the happiest brothers on the planet? Because you haven't found a way to consistently be able to get on his nerves yet. Because you don't have his baby. You don't have his last name. Show off.